Hello, and welcome back to our five-part series on return on investment for home sellers. Today, we're going to cover part 2, which is updates. So to review, the 5 areas that home sellers need to invest in order to get the best return on investment for a successful sale are maintenance, updates, curb appeal, cleaning, and staging. Today, we're going to talk about the number 2 on that list, which is updates. So when it comes to updates, why would we do updates in a home in order to sell it? Really, it's because buyers today, so we're not talking about buyers 40 years ago that wanted to invest time and money in their house. We're talking about buyers today want a move-in ready home. They want to move in and they want to entertain tomorrow. They want to post those Instagram photos of their new house and show everyone what they just bought the instant it closes. They don't want a fixer-upper. It is not what the majority of buyers today are looking for. So keep that in mind, because really our goal when we sell a house to get the best offers and the fastest close is to appeal to the most number of buyers as possible. If what buyers are looking for is a move-in ready home, we need to make that home move-in ready. So that's why we do updates. There are probably 3 levels of updates that we typically are looking at. The first level has 4 things that I typically recommend. Those are painting. You are going to get a huge bang for your buck for painting. It's like insane what a fresh coat of the right color paint can do for a house. I have seen houses, or I'll tell you one example, that it's a house that had sat on the market with a different realtor for a while, so I wasn't part of that process. And didn't sell. It was on the market for 60 days in a price point that should have sold. And they changed realtors, and that new realtor brought me in, and we looked at what we needed to do. And the house was a phenomenal home, beautiful home, well-maintained, brand new kitchen. I mean, just really beautiful home in a beautiful area. But the walls were what was a color that was trending a while ago. It was kind of a butterscotch color. And so it just made everything a little bit dark. Where trends these days have gone the opposite direction. They're light, they're bright. And so we painted it. So we recommended painted it. We got the painting done, and it was relisted and sold 4 days later. We went under contract 4 days later. And that is the power of paint. And yes, it was vaulted ceilings. And I was like, oh man, it's not the cheapest painting bill, but that house sitting on the market is costing that seller money. So doing the right color paint, getting it done, I've seen it work wonders. Okay. All right. Paint. The second thing on this level 1 that we're always looking at is flooring. Do we need new carpets? Do we need fresh hardwoods? They need, that kind of thing. Make sure the flooring looks fresh, clean, and ready to go. The next thing is light fixtures. It's a really easy fix to change out light fixtures. There's really affordable light fixtures, ceiling fans that can transform a room from being, oh my gosh, that was the 90s to welcome to 2022. And then the final little update that we can do that has an impact and really has an impact for bathrooms and kitchens, which are very important to buyers, is hardware and fixtures. So faucets, handles, things like that. Okay, so if those are addressed, then if the house needs it, what we look at is kind of a level 2 would be those things along with things like countertop, backsplashes, and tile. The reason we focus on those is because it affects the areas that are, buyers know are a big investment, and really buyers make decisions on buying a house on, which are kitchens and bathrooms. So kitchens, you can really update, I see beautiful homes that have beautiful cabinets that just have dated or tiled countertops. It was done in the 90s. It was a thing. And by changing that out and putting a new backsplash, that kitchen can feel like new, right? With that, and then the cabinet hardware and fixtures, fresh paint. Now we have a move-in ready kitchen that buyers are going to be really happy with. The other thing would be tile on carpeted bathroom floors. So there is not a buyer out there that's going to walk in and say, oh, great, we have carpet in the bathroom. Yeah, no one says that. Pretty much if you say carpet in the bathroom, I feel like if anyone's watching this, you're probably going, ew, right? Ew, no, we don't want carpet in the bathroom. So changing that carpet to tile the floor is going to be a wise move. The other one is backsplashes. So we had a really strong trend, and you can see it all over Colorado Springs, is that Tuscan moment that we had 12, 15 years ago. The city was exploding. We have a lot of new builds that way, or newer builds. But now, 15 years later, that look is dated and nobody wants it. And so backsplash, changing out that old world travertine for something fresh and clean. Again, lighter, brighter is really what's trending right now. Can make a huge impact on how a buyer views the home. Okay, so that's level 2. And then there's level 3 with updates. Of course, that involves more extensive renovation, not as common, but sometimes worth it. This is where crunching numbers does make a difference, to know your market, know what potential you can get. But renovating kitchens and baths, bringing in a new kitchen, you can make a lot of money on doing that, getting that done in your home. So to give you some numbers on things like that, one of the listings that I've worked on that was a level 1, right? The paint, flooring, fixtures, and hardware kind of things that we addressed. That buyer walked away with an extra $60,000 after costs were taken out. Another listing where we kind of did the same level, but then we also, we just did the same level. Those 4 things, they walked away with $260,000 profit. And then another house that had, a 1950s kitchen. There was just really no coming back from that one. And it was just not, wasn't in good condition. So they did get a new kitchen, a new bath. That seller walked away with an extra $110,000. So, those are significant numbers. They invested and they got more than they invested and a lot more back. So those are all profit numbers. Okay. So that is why it's worth it. Even though you're probably thinking like, well, that's a lot of work, right? Oh my goodness, that's a lot to get my house ready. It's worth it, right? You're leaving money on the table if you don't do it. So 2 other things that we're going to cover before we wrap this one up is based on a comment that I had from a painter I was meeting with yesterday. He's like, well, buyers are going to come in and do whatever they want to the house anyway. Why would we update it? Well, it's going back to that buyer demographic, right? They want move-in ready. Now, why do today's buyer want move-in ready? Why don't they want to take on a project where there's renovations? And there's 2 big reasons is buyers today don't have time and they don't have money, right? So if I have to go and buy a house, I got to get the mortgage down payment, buy the house, have a mortgage, and now I'm going to need to come up with another big chunk of money to do renovations. Today's buyers, especially those millennials, they don't have enough money for the down payment. They're struggling with that portion of buying a house. Versus if the house is move-in ready, they can figure out what they can afford on a monthly basis, buy the appropriate home, find a house they love, move in, and don't have to deal with the headaches of renovation. Because they're not going to see the return on investment like a home seller is, right? The home seller is going to see that immediately. Like most of those projects we can get done in a month. So you invest in the money, you sell the house, it closes, a couple months later, the money's back, you've made money on it, and you've moved on to your next adventure. A home buyer who's investing in that, they're not going to see a return on that investment until they go to sell their home. So you can see how that works from a timing standpoint. Let's see. The other thing is time. So let's talk about maybe someone who does have the money to renovate and make that house exactly what they want. A lot of times a lot of professionals in that category don't have the time or energy or like really want to go through a renovation, right? Because now they have to move in, renovate while they're living there. That is something that buyers are not looking for today. The other thing is selling as is. We're just going to sell it as is. Oh, no, don't do it. Let's see. And why? Because who's going to buy that house as a fixer-upper? Flippers. What is that goal of that flipper when they're purchasing your house as is? Their goal is to buy your listing for as little as they possibly can, which makes sense because their business model is that they need to invest a certain amount, sell it, and make a return on investment for themselves. And now they're battling the cost of a rising market, right? So you are not going to get the best offer from a flipper. You are going to get the lowest possible offer from a flipper. So that is something to consider. Why don't you want to sell it to a flipper? I guess the reason is that you don't want them to make the money that you could make. And you actually have the potential to make more money than the flipper would because you already have the home and you have the equity in the home. So huge opportunity. So why not make that money yourself? Investing in updates is going to bring in the most buyers because your listing looks great on realtor.com, right? When people are scrolling, that's why they go and look at a listing, is it looks good on realtor.com. It's going to give you the best offers because buyers fall in love with your home. They're also excited to move in, right? It is an emotional purchase for most people. So if they see the right house and you've just given them the right house, they're going to be excited about it, give you great offers, be solid buyers all the way to close. And it also doesn't put you at the mercy of flippers who want to give you the lowest possible price. So in our series on return on investment, investing in updates to make a home move-in ready and feel, like it's a brand new home today and not something from the past, a blast from the past, is going to have the best return on investment. And you have a huge opportunity in today's seller's market to give buyers what they want and for you to present a beautiful home for buyers to buy. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.